2010, she has served as the Executive Director of Literary Classics. Please help me welcome Diana Young.
We'd like to start by thanking all of you for being here in support of excellence in literature for children and young adults. At Literary Classics, we believe literature is a critical component in the development of young minds. Through well-crafted literature, we foster creative thinking, enhance word recognition, improve cognitive skills, and help achieve a greater understanding of people and the world around us. Literary Classics Book Awards and Reviews was founded in 2010 by Taj Mahal Publishing, Inc., and publishers of Mud Pie Parenting Magazine, a Midwestern publication. Initially, our focus was on providing reviews of children's picture books, but as the variety of books submitted grew, so did the scope of our organization. We now review and consider for our awards early reader, young adult books, and everything in between. We're proud to recognize those titles in literature which exemplify the criteria set forth by Literary Classics. And each one of today's honorees can be very proud of their accomplishments. All books entered into the awards program must meet or exceed our minimum requirements as outlined through our highly selective process. Books are rated based upon a number of different criteria, including message, interest, imagery, formatting, design, and much more. Today, we are pleased to recognize those individuals who have had a part in creating books which received the highest honors in 2017. Together, we celebrate their success in being honored with silver and gold, as well as our top honors awards, the Enchanted Page, the Eloquent Quill, the Lumen Award for Literary Excellence, and the Words on Wings Award. Today's distinguished honorees include authors from around the world whose contributions to literature for children and young adults are of exceptional note. We'd like to start by acknowledging one of our award recipients who is not able to be here today. Steve Wilson is presently overseas in the military, but we wanted to mention him and his contribution to literature with his award-winning book, Eye of Sharbatus, a novel which earned silver in the college-level category for thriller. We are grateful to Steve and all our servicemen and women for all they do to afford us the freedoms we enjoy each and every day in these United States. And now, we'd like to begin the awards presentation with our first book award recipient. Sip Tea with Mad Hatter is an Alice in Wonderland themed book which teaches children how to be gracious guests. Author Loretta Neff continues to delight and inspire young readers with a unique perspective on social graces in her newest children's book. Each page is adorned with winsome illustrations which will keep youngsters entertained while encouraging them to be the best of guests. Sip Tea with Mad Hatter earned silver in the Educational Early Reader category. Help us congratulate Loretta Neff. FIFO, a lovable bear, satisfies his urge to travel across the country. Starting in Alabama, he makes his way through all 50 of the United States. As young readers travel along, they learn the capitals, state flowers, and mottos, as well as other interesting facts unique to each state. Rhyme, repetition, and a fun cadence make this book one that children will want to read again and again. With wonderfully expressive illustrations, kids will love learning about the many sights and experiences the United States have to offer. Recommended for home and school libraries, FIFO 50 States by Haley Rose is the Gold Award recipient for Educational Early Reader. Little Katie and her dog Smudge are off on a grand adventure. Today is the day they will take a trip on a rocket ship all the way to the moon. From the moment they begin their preparations to their time shooting through the Earth's atmosphere until they return back home, Katie and Smudge have a marvelous time chatting about all the things they've learned about the moon. This wonderfully imaginative and entirely charming book helps kids discover fascinating facts along with Katie and Smudge. Carmela Dutra's Little Katie Goes to the Moon is a Silver Award recipient for General Early Reader. As a young girl, Najma was warmed by the wonderful traditions surrounding Ramadan and the lovely town where she lived in Istanbul. She loved the lights, the steaming bowls of shorba, and the sound of night prayers at the mosque near her small home. But most of all, she enjoyed waking before dawn to the sound of Musaharati strolling through the neighborhood, beating a drum and chanting songs. Najma dreamed of one day becoming a Musaharati, but she'd never before heard of a girl who had fulfilled this very special role. Drummer Girl by Hiba Massoud is a story that will inspire young girls to reach for their dreams regardless of what others might say or think. This lovely picture book, illustrated by Hoda Haddadi, depicts the many sights, scents, and sounds of this very special time of year. Hiba Massoud's Drummer Girl earns gold in the category of Cultural Early Reader, and also earns gold for Best Illustrations. And here today to accept this award is Tamara Gray, founder of Daybake Press. Deep within the forest valley bogey lies a world so lovely, so entirely enchanting that one can scarcely imagine it. So when two green children wander away from their home in Ballybogey to a nearby village, it stands to reason the village folk might be curious. But when curiosity and greed get the best of the situation, things turn dire for our little green friends. Kenny Chumbley and Jim McQuiggan have teamed up to pen an outstanding children's picture book about the incredible bond which exists between the truest of friends. Interspersed within this tale is an underlying message that if we are not careful, we may allow fear of others who are different from us to cloud our judgment. Eloquently penned and exquisitely told with wonderfully expressive illustrations by Nadia Ravinsky, The Green Children has much to offer young readers in this engaging tale, which resonates with a powerful message of unconditional love. The Green Children has earned gold in the fantasy category. Tales of Mr. Snuggy Whiskers, The Spring Tales, is the continuation of the story of Hallie and Corey, sisters who have befriended a family of mice living in a tree in their backyard. But these are no ordinary mice. Mr. Snuggy Whiskers and his family can speak, and Hallie and Corey are able to magically shrink to mice-sized proportions whenever they want to visit the Snuggy Whiskers family home. In this, the third book in the Tales of Mr. Snuggy Whiskers children's book series, Corey and Hallie go on a trip, taking the Snuggy Whiskers family along with them. The girls discover there is more to Mr. Snuggy Whiskers' past than they had realized, but learning the truth proves to be more challenging than they ever could have imagined. Author C.F. Crawford teams up with L.H. Crawford, illustrator, to deliver the Silver Award-winning chapter book. Tyson, a young troll, has had his share of hardships since the day he was born. After his mother died in childbirth, all his father could see when he looked at his son was the face of the woman he had so dearly loved. Gareth, Tyson's father, became extremely bitter and heartless. Turning to a life of thievery, he began robbing from passersby at a bridge in the village. Then one day, Tyson is informed his father has been killed. Sad and alone, he searches for a new place to call home. Despite many obstacles, Tyson sets his mind to better himself and ultimately to earn the respect of the father of a beautiful fairy with whom Tyson has fallen deeply in love. Thankfully for the boy troll, his mother has passed on to him the greatest gift of all, the gift of a positive disposition and a wonderfully radiant smile. Molly and Gary Whitney's Thistledown earns gold in juvenile fantasy fiction. While she was yet unborn, Carling's mother received a prophecy that her child would one day become the long-awaited ruler of Christonia. The throne, having remained unclaimed for over a century and a half, had been unsuccessfully sought by many throughout these tumultuous years. When Carling is just 16 years old, she is met by a wizard who pronounces that she is the chosen one. A sweet girl from a humble background, she is overwhelmed by this revelation as she is presented with a quest. Complete a magical breastplate by finding the 4 stones needed to fully harvest the power within this magnificent shield. A marvelous tale of centaurs and ogres battle against one another for the control of Christonia. The Stone of Mercy by M.J. Evans earned silver in juvenile fantasy fiction. Lucy is a young girl who has had a very troubled childhood. At 8 years of age, she spent most of her life locked up in a small room with no exposure to the outside world. But when her stepfather decides he's had enough of her, he takes her out to the forest where he abandons her for good. Lucy finds incredible joy in the forest where she develops a unique connection with all the elements there. The trees, the brook, and even the animals are her companions. Lucy soon befriends a young boy who agrees to tell no one about her secret home, and he even brings her food and some essentials to help her survive. Inspired by Wordsworth's Wild Child, Lucy Gray, this book is every bit as lovely. Readers of all ages will find themselves drawn to Lucy in her magical wood. Author Christina M. Page's Lucy in Her Secret Wood is the Gold Award recipient for juvenile fiction. Kinsey has epilepsy. Her condition is so severe, it affects nearly every aspect of her life. Things other kids take for granted are simply not safe for her, like riding a bicycle. And friendships are hard to form when other kids just don't understand her circumstances. Her parents want what's best for Kinsey, but sometimes knowing the right path for their daughter is just a guessing game. When things reach an all-time low for Kinsey, her parents take a big risk when they decide to get a service dog in hopes it can anticipate a seizure before it strikes, helping Kinsey to always be prepared. From the moment Kinsey meets her new service dog, her life turns around for the better. But before long, she is facing yet another problem, when a bully turns her happy new life upside down. Author Katie Newton Noss's Guardian earns gold in tween fiction. Greg is not at all pleased when his family moves to Kentucky for his father's job. He would prefer to be spent his summer with his best friend Rose. But instead, his mom has volunteered him to participate in an 18th century reenactment for which he must wear a period costume. Greg has traveled in time before, but he doesn't really know how. So when he finds himself in the past once again, he's not entirely sure what to make of this situation. Having learned a thing or two from his previous time travel experiences, he's less afraid and better equipped to maintain a sense of calm as he faces the Indians who have just killed and scalped a man bearing a satchel with letters dated from the summer of 1778. Author C.M. Huddleston's Greg's second adventure in time earns gold for middle grade historical fiction. Ten-year-old Samuel's father disappeared years ago, and his mother has just passed away. Now, living with his grandfather, he is still grieving and experiencing feelings of abandonment and insecurity. But then Samuel and his friend make a grand discovery about the legend of Black Lightning. A talisman given to him by his father becomes a critical element for his survival. Fantasy combines with tribal lore to offer an exciting spin on an entirely compelling story, which will entice young readers. Author K.S. Jones weaves an enchanting tale of lore and legend combined with a sci-fi element that will enthrall young audiences in this book, which has earned gold in middle grade science fiction. Alex and Adam have grown up together as best friends, and they fail to see the difference in the color of their skin. But when they discover they've accidentally been transported to the 1860s, they experience firsthand what it's like to suffer the atrocities of bigotry in the South at a time when slavery was the norm. So when Alex returns to the present but discovers Adam is still trapped in the past, he is gravely concerned for the safety and well-being of his friend. Desperate to find where and when Adam is, Alex tries to return to the past so he can bring his friend back to the present where he belongs. Author Sheila W. Slavich breathes life into the events of the Civil War, making moments of yesteryear as real and vibrant as they once were. Reluctant readers will revel in this story and may even develop a fascination for Civil War history. Recommended for home and school libraries, Sheila Slavich's Jumpin' the Rails earned silver for tween historical fiction, gold for middle grade science fiction, and gold for best cover design. Growing up in the 70s in California meant baking in the sun while slathered in baby oil, catching rays for that golden tan considered a prerequisite for looking one's best. But Adam Lipsitz, he can't catch a break. Not only is his skin entirely pigment challenged, he also takes gangly and geeky to bizarre extremes. He might just as well paint a bullseye on his forehead to alert bullies looking for an easy target. Add to this his list of prior summer camp fiascos, and one can easily imagine his apprehension at being shipped off to suffer 6 weeks of hell at Camp Kickapoo. Skinny White Freak is an often snarky and entirely entertaining coming-of-age tale of a teenage boy who has finally reached his bullying threshold. Paul Haddad's Skinny White Freak earns silver in the general tween category. In a land of great riches, with inhabitants who live to be centuries old, lives a boy Stig. Stig is quite good at inventing tools and gadgets with the use of clockwork mechanisms. One fateful day, though, his inventive tinkering leads him to a life-altering discovery. While taking a test run in his new flying machine, he experiences a crash landing. His accident may prove to be a blessing in disguise, though, as he soon learns his beloved city of Sheldraham is in danger. But returning home to forewarn the people of Sheldraham proves to be a challenge far greater than he could have ever imagined. Each of the 3 books in this magical collection are full of wonder and imagination, with multifaceted characters and a plot which keeps readers enthralled throughout. Stephen von Klinkerhoffen's Hidden City of Sheldraham, Stig's Flight, earns gold in the general middle school category, and The Hidden City of Sheldraham takes gold for best series. Elizabeth is an extraordinarily mature 15-year-old girl. An only child, her father passed away just a few short weeks after her grandmother's death. So when her grandfather, bereaving and heartbroken, escapes reality to travel the world, she and her mother are left to pick up the pieces of their lives on their own. Now, 8 years later, Elizabeth's grandfather has returned home with a mysterious typewriter which he believes is somehow connected to his family, and in particular to Elizabeth. The Whiz Bang Machine is an incredibly suspenseful book which will have readers of all ages eagerly turning pages with enthusiasm as they wait to see what will become of Elizabeth and her eccentric grandfather. Author Danielle Van's Whiz Bang Machine takes silver in the general juvenile category. And the lovely Danielle Van is going to stand here while I read her next review. Elizabeth Yale is back in the Whiz Bang Machine, Toonie's Curse. She and her grandfather are on a race with time. In this, the second book in the Whiz Bang series, Elizabeth must save the Whiz Bang Machine and put an end to the family curse before it ruins the lives of the people of Leiden. but the clock is ticking, and they must stop the curse before her mother's 40th birthday, which is just days away. Audiences who enjoyed the first book in this installment will thrill at the newest book in the Whiz Bang series. The Whiz Bang Machine, Toonie's Curse, earns gold in the juvenile category for general fiction. James is average. His grades are mediocre. He's medium in height and build. In fact, there's absolutely nothing about him that sets him apart in any way. He's just an incredibly normal kid. One day, he muses aloud that he's so very ordinary, he could quite possibly be the king of average. And that's when James' world begins to shift. He's suddenly transported to the land of average, where he soon learns the current king of average has gone missing. James is challenged with a mission: find the king, learn why he departed, then return to claim the throne. James happily accepts his quest, and he, along with a motley crew of new companions, set out to find the missing royal. Author Gary Schwartz has crafted a brilliant read for middle grade audiences. Replete with witty phrases and loads of powerful symbolism, The King of Average earns gold in the tween general category, as well as gold in middle school fiction. Ephemeral and Fleeting, Book 3 in the Oath Taker series, is an enduring tale of magic, mystery, and prophecies. The chronicles continue as Zarek attempts to destroy and overtake the select members. More than ever, this story comes to life and offers new thrills for adventure-hungry readers. Raina and Eden forge on, striving to fulfill their destiny. Love blossoms as the twins are maturing and coming into their potential powers. Bloody battles ensue, and the situation becomes further complicated as the Crunians underhandedly vie to control the border. Author Patricia Redding continues to engage readers with unexpected twists and a plot which sears with vivid details of events that will keep readers on the edge of their seats in this fantasy series. Ephemeral and Fleeting earns silver in high school fantasy and silver in college fantasy. Criminal, Book 2 in the Breeder series by K.B. Hoyle, continues with the story of Priya, who has escaped from the UWO, a dystopian organization bent on achieving a perfect society through selective breeding. In Book 1 of the series, Priya learns of the abominations of the UWO and discovers she's been used to carry out their plans. The evil tactics employed by Sanctuary are horrific. They exterminate all infants who are not perfect as defined by their utopian objective. A child born with the wrong color eyes or any possible variation on the ideal is deemed unfit. Author K.B. Hoyle is an incredibly gifted storyteller. Her ability to alternate seamlessly between intense action scenes and tender moments, often laced with subtle humor, is one of the many reasons this author continues to enthrall young adult fans. Criminal earns gold in the high school dystopian category and also earns gold in the college dystopian category. Life at St. Agatha's is no cakewalk, and Eliza would know. After only 5 weeks living there, she's already broken the record for spending the most time in the box, a dark and cramped janitor's closet transformed into a prison cell at the school for girls. The box is meant to tame obstinate girls into submission, but Eliza would sooner spend all her time in the box than succumb to the sinister matron Criggs. Eliza doesn't hold much hope in being selected by a family on adoption day, and there would be no worse fate imaginable than if her new best friend Millie were to be adopted, leaving her behind in this miserable institution. But Eliza doesn't plan on sticking around long enough to find out. She's devised a plan to escape. Now she's waiting for the right opportunity, and she hopes to persuade Millie to flee with her. But the horrors that lurk beyond St. Agatha's may be far worse than anything Matron Criggs could ever dish out to the unwitting girls. Author Caitlin Brooks' Dark Flowers earned silver in the high school horror category. After failing at college, Ophelia's sister gets her a job at a charity hospital in exchange for testing a new drug. Included in the array of unwelcome side effects, she begins to hallucinate and starts acting out unexpectedly. Ophelia struggles to quit taking the medication, but without success. Then things take a bizarre turn when she is visited by ghosts who were erstwhile murdered by a serial killer. Horror meets literary fiction in this unique novel in which Shakespeare, Poe, and the like join efforts to create a surreal montage of thoughtful introspection. As Ophelia delves into a world of existential indulgence, readers are introduced to her meanderings as she processes a deluge of mind-altering experiences. Ophelia Alive is altogether unexpected and will leave readers yearning for more from this author. Author Luke T. Harrington's Ophelia Alive earned silver in the high school thriller category, gold in the high school horror category, and silver in the college horror category. Multi-award-winning author Jackie Latran has a way with words and speaks to teen audiences in a compassionate and compelling manner. 5 Simple Questions to Reclaim Your Happiness, book 1 of 3 from the Words of Wisdom for Teens series, is an exceptional self-help book which is full of wise counsel and can benefit audiences of any age or gender. Valuable insight and unique perspectives allow readers to approach their concerns from a profound new angle in an effort to resolve issues and pave the way for a happier and more fulfilling life, affording readers the opportunity to put life-changing steps into action. 5 Simple Questions to Reclaim Your Happiness helps broaden an understanding of the human mind to harness one's happiness. By helping readers break down barriers and channel their focus, Latran helps them find healthier ways of addressing the issues they've let come between them and their potential for true happiness. 5 Simple Questions to Reclaim Your Happiness earns gold in the young adult self-help category. Hamunga Moya hails from the Copperbelt province of Zambia. He is full of hopes and dreams for a bright future as a journalist. But idealism meets reality when he's forced to serve time for a crime he did not commit. Following his release 7 years later, he finds work at a copper mine, where he becomes embroiled in union politics and eventually takes on a leadership role in that capacity. He learns firsthand of the ill-fated pawns who suffer as a result of those who would benefit most from exploiting the people and resources of Zambia. Beautifully told with haunting clarity and telling insight, Hamunga's story is a powerful message of the ways in which greed can insidiously attack and ultimately destroy resources in the innocent lives of many. A compelling glimpse into the life, culture, and struggles of the people of Zambia, this riveting first novel by Makuka Chipanta earns gold in the general college category and also earns gold for best first book. Walter Schur grew up in Queens, New York during the Depression. He, along with the buddies he'd known since childhood, couldn't wait to enlist in the Army as part of their patriotic duty. But after taking the required physical, Walter was diagnosed with tuberculosis, a life-threatening and highly contagious illness. He spent the next 7 years in quarantine fighting the dreaded disease while his friends were off fighting in the war. After finally being released with a clean bill of health, he went on to become a successful and highly influential businessman. His road to success was riddled with speed bumps and detours, but with a strong sense of purpose, high ideals, and a willingness to learn, he had a tremendous impact in the U.S. and abroad, making positive changes that are still causing ripples in how businesses operate today. Walter's Way is a compelling story that will encourage and inspire readers of all ages. This book earns gold for high school nonfiction and gold for inspirational visionary in the college category. And here today to accept this award on Walter's behalf is his wife, Sylvia Scher. Six years ago, Literary Classics created the Top Honors Book Awards in an effort to recognize the most distinguished books for children and young adults. The first Top Honors Award recipients were announced in 2013. Today, we continue this tradition as we recognize our 2017 Top Honors Book Award recipients. Author Kenny Chumbley was born and raised on a farm in East Central Illinois, where he still lives. He is a minister, author, and publisher. Most importantly, he is the father of Gary, Kelly, and Steve, and the grandfather of Maddie, Maya, Anaya, Honor, and Millie. Nadia Ravinsky lives in London, where she is a qualified professional with strong illustration, architecture, and design experience in the U.S., UK, and Russia. She's earned several awards in both the United States and Russia, and is a member of professional societies such as the British Institute of Interior Design and Russian Design Association. As a result of the collective efforts of Kenny, co-author Jim McQuiggan, and Nadia, their book, The Green Children, is being honored today with the Enchanted Page Award. Christina M. Page, PhD, is a native of Kent, England, where she spent her childhood roaming the fields with her 3 older sisters. She won a publication award for her first poetry collection, Shadow Words, and several poems in her second collection, Remember Not to Forget, were nominated for the Pushcart Prize. She was the winner of California Poetry Society's 19th annual contest in 2005. Lucy in Her Secret Wood is her first children's novel, and it has won 5 awards to date. Christina's Lucy in Her Secret Wood, a story inspired by Wordsworth's wild child, Lucy Gray, is the 2017 recipient of the Eloquent Quill Award. Walter Scher rose from poverty during the Great Depression to become the founding board member and executive officer of 4 international corporations and 3 philanthropic organizations. He has been profiled in the Wall Street Journal and Fortune. His book, Walter's Way, is a testament to his strong sense of purpose and high ideals. Co-written by John Hans and Deborah Scheel, this book is awarded the 2017 Lumen Award for Literary Excellence. And here again to accept this award is Walter's wife, Sylvia Scher. It is, as always, so very exciting to have such incredible talent represented here today, and it's our great honor to recognize all of these people. We know that this is a challenging business. Often there are people on the sidelines. your support team, and your cheering squad, who have helped all you authors along the way in your journey to success. We would be remiss if we did not acknowledge those people here today. If you are a friend, family member, or have assisted in any sort of literary capacity to help any of these award-winning authors get where they are today, we would like you to stand and be recognized. We thank you for joining us in honoring these artists and their contributions to literature. If you'd like to learn more about any of these awards and their award-winning titles, you may visit our website at clcawards.org. This concludes our awards presentation, and we'd like to take a moment to recognize the Rapid City Public Library, as well as all the staff and volunteers who have helped make the events this weekend possible.